Paul Elliott once told me, look, there are two things with money. First is to make it. The second is to know how to keep it. It seems a lot of folks today are only interested in making money. That's it. But they have no strategy on how to keep it.
Hi, this is Alessio. Hope you're well. In this video, I want to talk to you about a potential warning sign for Bitcoin and why there could be potential trouble ahead for Bitcoin in the next several months ahead. So let's talk about that. Alright guys, welcome back. Now before we talk about Bitcoin, I thought it'd be a bit rude if I didn't talk about where I'm staying and actually where I am right now. So as you probably know, we took a road trip for several hours to the north of Iran, which is where I am right now, in a place called Royan. And I'm staying actually in a nice big house, as you can see here. I'll just show you around here briefly when we talk about Bitcoin. So as you can see here, this is the lounge area. It's quite cozy here. There's our kitchen. And behind me, as you can see here, we've got a nice little garden. Now over here, you can see on the wall, there's like a evil eye symbol. Over here in Persia, and actually most of the Middle East, they believe in this stuff called the evil eye. Let's go upstairs, guys. Just show you upstairs very briefly here as well. As you can see, it's pretty spacious. Okay, we're just gonna check Sarah's room here. Okay, let's see if she's in. Oh, here's Sarah. How you doing? Okay, and this is Human's room.
Hi.
How you doing? Okay. Let's get out of here. And over here is actually my bedroom, as you can see here. So, it'll do. It's not that big, it's not that small. And there's it's not an amazing view, but it can be quite relaxing. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Let's go outside and we can talk more about Bitcoin. The idea for this video came when a few weeks ago I got a message from a friend of mine, someone I had not heard of for a long time. And this person messaged me saying, hey Alessio, I just made $1 million on Bitcoin. This was when Bitcoin is about 60,000. So the message was, hey Alessio, just made $1 million on Bitcoin and it's now going to go to $1 million and you never believed in Bitcoin. By the way, this person was trolling me, obviously, because many years ago, I would say about 8 years ago, it's true, I did not believe in Bitcoin. I was a Bitcoin skeptic, I guess you could say that. But the fact is, this message that I got interested me. And it got me wondering, because you see, this is not the first time that has happened to me. And it's probably happened to you as well, when maybe friends of yours, people you know, message you saying, oh, they made $1 million or 100,000 pounds or dollars in Bitcoin. By the way, listen, I want to say this. If you've made $1 million on Bitcoin, or if you've made a lot of money on crypto, well done to you. I mean, you deserve all the credit. So by all means, if you've had the patience and the intelligence to make $1 million or however much you made in Bitcoin and crypto, well done to you. There's nothing wrong with that. I guess you could say what worries me is that this has happened before. You see, guys, if you recall 20 years ago, I don't know how many of you remember the dot-com bubble of the late 1990s. This has actually happened before to me. When back in the late 90s, when dot-com stocks were going through the roof, I mean, people were making a lot of money on dot-com stocks back in the day in the late 90s. And again, I remember ordinary people were buying up cheap, actually quite a lot of worthless dot-com internet stocks. And a lot of these folks were buying at the wrong time. It was the heat of the bubble. By the way, you know my story. I've already discussed that I made the same mistake myself. Back in the late 90s, I bought dot-com stocks. I didn't know what I was doing. Again, back in the day, I wasn't using charts or any kind of risk management. So essentially just buying up dot-com stocks like everyone else. And what was driving me was the same kind of temperament, mentality, and fever that's happening right now, where people were no longer interested in internet or dot-com stocks as to what the quality of the company is, but it was all about, how to become a millionaire. It was all about how to make money and wealth in dot-coms. Now listen, I know what you're probably thinking, come on Alessio, dot-com stocks are not comparable to crypto or Bitcoin. It's a totally different thing. Hi, how are you doing? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. What a nice lady. As I'm sure you remember, only about, was it 3 years ago or 4 years ago, in 2017, in late 2017, we had exactly the same mentality on Bitcoin. when essentially as Bitcoin was hitting 10,000 and 5,000 actually, the media was essentially fueling this bubble because everyone was reading about Bitcoin going to 5,000 and then 10,000, people buying up Bitcoin at really the wrong time, because eventually when it hit 19 and 20,000, Bitcoin essentially topped and then started the massive bear market. I'm mentioning this because people might think, people might say, well, Bitcoin is different from dot-coms. Of course, yes, that's true. They are different. But the fact is, what drives the market is not so much fundamentals. I'm sure you probably know. It's technicals, technical psychology. Okay, so crowd psychology is what drives the market. And guys, just look at what's happening right now in the last few weeks. Dogecoin, which, as I'm sure you know, started out as a joke. I mean, I'm not being rude here, but you guys know Dogecoin started out as a complete joke. Even the founder of Dogecoin pretty much said that. I mean, you have a cryptocurrency which could be absolutely worthless. And listen, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from Dogecoin lovers, Dogecoin bulls right now, probably going to say, no, Alessio, you're wrong, it's not worthless. But guys, listen, the fact is, this cryptocurrency is going to 5,000%, and truth is, nobody knows if it has any intrinsic value or not. And this massive surge in the price of Dogecoin is another sign of the fever, of the bubble mentality that's happening right now across over crypto and the markets. And by the way, it's not just Dogecoin, and you're seeing it across in the stock market too. I mean, just look what happened a few months ago with GameStop. Again, GameStop is a company, as I'm sure you know, in a dying industry, the retail industry. I mean, listen, majority of people these days are buying things online. Hardly anyone goes to, especially in COVID times, to a store. I mean, look what happened to GameStop, the stock. I mean, it just skyrocketed in a matter of a few days. What's happening is, as GameStop stock was going higher, a lot of people actually opened up trading accounts to see if they can trade GameStop and actually make more money on it. So what's happening is this bubble mentality where people are no longer interested so much as to the value and the quality of what they're buying, but so much just to make some money out of it, just as a get-rich-quick scheme. And I think it's exactly what's happening right now with Bitcoin. And guys, if you don't believe me, listen, where I am right now, I mean, I've been here in Iran now for about a week or 10 days, and I've seen now television programs, TV programs here in Iran, where essentially they're asking, is it possible to become rich in Bitcoin? Guys, I'm not kidding. I'm seeing television programs here in Iran asking the question, can you become rich with Bitcoin or crypto? And guys, I'll put the link for this video in the description here. You can go watch it if you want. But guys, I watched this program and they were talking about, they were interviewing people, whether it's possible to make wealth and millions in Bitcoin. Now, again, I'm mentioning this because the same thing happened back in the late 90s when people stopped looking or becoming interested in buying something because of its value or its quality, but purely as a way to make money. So right now, that is exactly what's happening. And listen, I know you guys are intelligent, sophisticated people. I know that it doesn't apply to you. I know you're probably interested in Bitcoin for philosophical reasons. In other words, for its actual potential because of blockchain and the technology behind it. But the fact is, guys, I'm sure you're noticing a lot of people right now are getting into Bitcoin for totally the wrong reasons, in my view, which is, just as a way to get rich quick. And again, when you see television programs and articles online and videos on, oh, Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million. And listen, Bitcoin might go to $1 million. I don't know. It might do that. But when you see the mentality of people changing from buying Bitcoin for its potential instead of what is happening right now, buying Bitcoin to get rich, I think we're reaching a dangerous time right now. I think we're reaching a bubble mentality that we haven't seen probably since 2017 and probably I would say since 1999 with dot-coms. And yes, even I would say 2007 with the housing market. And I think, these are dangerous times, again, where a joke currency like Dogecoin can go up 5,000% and worthless companies can, go up several 100%. And when people don't even care anymore about risk and managing the risk, and it's all about how to make money. The thing is this, guys, as my good friend Paul Elliott says, very important. Paul Elliott once told me, look, there are two things with money. First is to make it. The second is to know how to keep it. It seems a lot of folks today are only interested in making money. That's it. But they have no strategy on how to keep it. And as I'm sure you know, guys, there's no point making money if you don't know how to keep it. So, okay, where am I now? I'm actually kind of lost here. I'm actually lost because I've been walking now and I'm actually in a neighborhood I've never been to before. This is like my first time walking in this neighborhood. So I'm hoping I'm not getting completely lost. And let me just say a few more things about this. Another dangerous sign I've seen recently is acceleration in the price. This is important. A lot of people think that a bubble means when price becomes expensive. And that is part of it, but it's not actually the true definition of a bubble. A bubble occurs when there's a price acceleration, when price moves higher or too high, too fast. So it's not so much the price that Bitcoin or any market goes up to that makes it a bubble. What makes it a bubble is the price acceleration, okay? So I'm saying this because people might say, well, Alessio, come on, $60,000, that's not a bubble. And they might even say when it goes to $100,000, oh, that's not a bubble. Again, it's not the price that matters, it's the price acceleration, okay? How fast price moves. And I think what's happened is prices move too high too fast, and we need to see a pretty decent correction, a healthy correction in the market. Otherwise, we could see a very dangerous topping formation and a potential bear market. In fact, I actually think the way things are looking right now, I think it's quite likely that we'll see a top in Bitcoin probably in the next 6 to 12 months. Not probably now. I mean, Bitcoin could still go to $100,000. It's possible, absolutely. What I'm saying is, given the mentality, the bubble mentality, and the sort of thinking that's happening right now, where people are just interested in Bitcoin, not for its value or its potential in technology, but just for making money and just to get rich. This is the herd mentality that destroys people, unfortunately. Destroyed me back in the late 90s. So what I got to say is this, that I think it's quite likely that in the next 6 to 12 months, we'll probably see a multi-month, probably a multi-year tops, similar to 2017. Okay, so by that time, perhaps Bitcoin could be higher. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin could potentially go to $100,000 before this occurs. And yes, I could be wrong. Okay, maybe Bitcoin will go to $200,000, and I'll be left with egg on my face. That's absolutely possible. But I think, look, I'm looking right now, and the way things are going, everyone is thinking about how to make millions in Bitcoin and crypto, and they couldn't care less about the risks. They don't care about price acceleration. They don't care about markets becoming overbought, overvalued, overextended. Exactly 3 things that John Hussman says we should worry about. John Hussman, the great economist, says, look, when something becomes overbought, overvalued, overextended, and overbullish, yeah, you need to be careful. By the way, this place that I'm in the north of Iran, one thing I should say, guys, is that if you do come to Iran to visit, I would highly suggest take a car. Well, don't drive yourself. Let someone drive for you, because it's quite dangerous to drive here. And do what we did and come to the north of Iran by the seaside. In a future video update, we'll actually go to the Caspian Sea, which is actually very close here, and I'll show you some more interesting things around here. Okay, I think it's time I called Human and get some help, because I actually don't know if I know the way now. Is it this way I came, or is it that way? Okay, we have a crossroads. Left or right? All right, guys, stay tuned to find out. For now, let me know your comments. What do you think? Do you think that you're seeing the exact kind of patterns and behavior across people where people just, it's just become, for them, it's becoming like a get-rich-quick scheme? Thanks very much, guys. See you soon.